All right. I hope this is working. Not sure if it is or not. We see, I guess. Oh, there it is. Sorry. Excuse the lack of knowledge on this. Haven't done this in a while. And we are getting ready to go do a week heading up north to go do a few days on a lake up in northern Saskatchewan with some friends. So anyway, I thought I would come on here and do. I'm gonna just tie some flies and chat and see if anyone actually comes on to a live on a rainy Sunday. So I like my lights. I think they change as I talk. Ah, they do. Look at that. Um, yeah. So we're just here doing. I'm gonna just tie some flies for a bit. I'm just gonna tie some odd pike streamers and stuff like that. I got a few I'm gonna try. This one I'm gonna do right now. It's like a bait fish, saltwater musky pike streamer kind of thing. I like when I go on trips. I like to like I have my tried and trues, but I also like to do. I always love to bring up some new stuff because you never know. I'll bring up like a few extras and then I'll bring the material with me. And if it actually works, then I'll use it. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna try a couple. I already have a bunch of other ones that I'll use, and I'll just bring the materials if I need more. And it's never not too hard to go and tie a few extra. So I'm not really expecting a lot of people to come on this. Maybe you'll see this on the replay. Who knows? But if you do come on the replay or you're here live, then welcome. S- so we are working right now. I have a bunch. I have 3 aughts, 2 aughts, 4 aughts. I have some other style like VMC hooks that I might try and use. And I don't know, maybe that'll be a different streamer or whatever. And if you have any questions, I mean, if you're on the replay, just drop it down in the comments below and I will easily reply to it. Yeah, otherwise, I'm using the camera off my laptop right now because it's convenient, actually. So the quality won't be as good as if I had my other camera set up, which maybe I'll try and do some more of this. Sometimes it's a little harder to get out the videos I've been wanting to get out just because I have so many little projects and getting out and just all, guiding, working, tying streamers, time patterns. But if I could just get on here and just low key, no real editing, no real bullshit, just straight to the point. And I can sit here and chat with people. I don't know if it'll be a designated day that I do this, but at the very least, it should be. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not making any promises, but it would be cool to do something like this more often where I'm not, maybe just do Q&A of like certain products or something like that. And I might even go and get the program I used to use. So anyway, if you're here, drop a comment, say hi. Um, I'm going to drop a comment and say hi to everybody. Right meow. Everyone, how's it going? So, I hope you're all enjoying this rain. Currently, it's what time? It's 12:31 p.m. on June 28th, and we've been getting bombed with rain, and it's not been fun. The rivers are blown to shit, and the small creeks I haven't really been able to get out because I bought a trailer and I'm changing things up with my trailer. But anyway, you came here to see a fly get tied and chat. I'm just kind of shooting the shit to see if anyone actually shows up. But I don't know. I got my doubts that that's gonna happen. Anyway, let's do this. So we've got, what are our materials gonna be? We got some, uh, holographic, some minnow, like, dub belly. We're going to use some sorry, they're on the wrong side. Come on. It's stuck. It's stuck. I don't know if these would be long enough, but I think they should be. We're gonna use some of this. Listen to me. Um, we're going with some hackle, grizzly hackle. What's gonna be the sides of the fly, and then we got some deer hair. This is some long stuff that I got. I got some more over there, some big stuff, but I got some really long stuff here. Because I want something longer. I wanna try and make it I'm gonna do, like, some 6, 7-inch flies, some streamers patterns, something that's a little easier to throw on my 8 weight. I did just buy 2 10 weights, um, to take on this trip because last year, if you, I did a trip up to Beaver Lodge, and when I did it, um, I found my 8 weight. It definitely did the job. But it was a little undergunned for some of the fish. Like I caught a 36-inch lake trout, and it didn't actually it held the fish just fine. However, I did not have the power to pull that fish. um, and then I caught the 36, 37-inch lake trout, and it actually was okay. Like I did okay, but um, this trip I am going to try and focus on. Uh, we're gonna be going for, big pike, there's walleye, there's supposed to be lake trout, and there's grayling. So I'm gonna try and do everything. I'm gonna try and do, like, try and pick a day of doing one of everything or maybe do, like, bits and parts throughout this trip, but I really wanna do a full on I really wanna try and break my personal best pike, which is 40 inches, which is not on a fly rod. My personal best on a fly rod is 36, 37. I think it was like 36 on the last video, but or 37. I think it was 37. I don't know. It's around there. 36 or 7 inches. That's my biggest pike on a fly rod. I want to break 40. Or I want to hit 40 or break it. My biggest is 40, which was ice fishing. And I would love to get like a 45-inch, maybe even bigger, who knows. We're gonna tie a few different size flies. I might just do a couple different lives on each one. I'll do this one, do a couple of this guy, and then maybe I'll swap out to another one, and I'll do another live on that. We'll see. Just horsing around, and my kids are not having fun right now. Welcome to having boys. Ugh. Have kids, they said. I love them, but they're who knows? All right, let's get this. Done jabbering. For coming on. Thanks for watching. Let's get to the fly. Okay. We also have some flash, which I probably don't have enough of. Ooh, actually, I have another color up there that would probably work really well. Give it a nice little tinge to it. But we're going to start with this and we're going to tie a few of these. So this is going to be like a teardrop pattern. It's going to be like a nice teardrop. Well, the idea of it should be, it should when it gets wet, it should be like a teardrop, which is usually a good bait fish profile, which I found works really well. I have some smaller patterns I use for walleye that are like that teardrop, and they're weighted in the head and they work sparkle minnow, and it's solid, wicked profile. And then we are gonna do some that like bolt and then shoot to the left or shoot to the right. Um, I don't actually know the name of this pattern. It's just I don't know. I don't even know what to call it right now. But it's just like a teardrop bait fish pattern, but I'm gonna try and make it as long as I can. But that usually that that's what they're going after, right? So we're gonna try and match the hatch, so to speak, and then we're also gonna go big or go home style streamers today. Alright, so, I already kinda spinned up a little bit here, and then I decided I was gonna go live, because why not? I keep thinking about doing it, and I never do it, so I'm actually gonna do it. Hold myself to my own. So, we're gonna start with a little bit of, um, dub here, um, just some minnow belly. Oh, that's a lot. I'll need it, though, but that's okay. So, gonna do a little dubbing noodle, nothing super crazy, and if I start doing this more, I will do a much better setup of cameras. I do have the cameras to do so. I just right now I don't know. So we're gonna tail up a little bit of this right here on the tip, keeping it a little bit loose, and we're just gonna uh, put this forward. I like having this little basket, but sometimes it gets in my way when I'm trying to tie. Okay, I'm gonna go here, and we're gonna go. So I'm gonna use both of these colors right here. If you see, I'm gonna use both the colors. One's gonna be the top, one's gonna be the bottom, and let's see which one I've already used. Oh, that one might work out. And it's been a while since I've done this, so the first fly, this is why it's nice to tie a couple, because you might not always get it your first shot. So maybe you do a couple of them, and by the time, usually the second or third one, you usually have the pattern you're looking for. So see this, it's nice and long. So we're gonna use that for the belly, and we're gonna use this as kind of like a brownish color, and that's gonna be the top. And then we're gonna put a little bit of flash in that as well to give it that nice flash style. So, like, if you ever sat in a pool where you're watching tons of bait fish and you can just see them when they go and the pike or whatever, the pike or the predators come up and try and eat them, you'll see those flash that go sideways in that flash. So having that little bit of flash, I have found it is often and not a lot, you don't need a lot. It just needs enough of a flash when the sun hits it that it flashes and that fish will see it and it'll look wicked. Like it works so incredibly well. And I put a little bit of flash in almost most of all my streamers nowadays. That and a little bit of flash brew. Hey Brandon, how's it doing? Hey, okay, so you're here. How do I sound? Does it sound nice and clear right now? Uh, I'm sure. This is the headset I use for like my voiceovers and stuff. So sweet. That's awesome. That's what I want. Okay, so we're going to go and I'm going to do the top first. I'd like to get some longer stuff, but this brown on the top of this on most of it. It's not super long, so we're gonna get a mix. This is the longest I can find right now. And I don't want too much either. Yeah, I know. I'm just using my laptop right now. It's not actually like my computer. I'm not using my camera, which I could at some point, but I need to set it up. I kind of just doing this on a whim right now. I don't know if I can change the quality settings. I think that's the only way I can do it, unfortunately. I'll figure it out. It'll work for now. Should be able to see the fly a little better as I go. Um, but we'll see, I guess. Who's messaging me? Oh, it doesn't matter. Okay, so anyway, ADHD at its finest. Okay, so I'm gonna mix a little bit of the brown and the white in with this just because I don't want it to be like full on brown for the first little lot. Come in here. I'm going to tie it. Could use craft fur for this as well, but I really like bucktail. If you've ever seen bucktail the way it swims once it gets wet versus craft fur, it's uh it's pretty sweet. So I want to keep this as long as I can. So I'm going to tie it right in here. I I kinda did a little bit of flashy boo up to here, and I'm gonna tie it in there a little bit. I'm just gonna hold it here and then just make it come around. I'm not gonna go to the bottom of the hook because I'm gonna tie in some more stuff in there, and then I'm gonna wrap that in, and that should be good there. I won't do too much because 'cause I'll build too much bulk. And then I'm gonna flip this, and I'm just gonna go for some white right here. Wrong one. I want longer. Here we go. That's nice. And we're the whole idea of this is I'm gonna continue to build bulk and try try is gonna be the key word here right now. It's the first time I've tied this pattern in a while. We're gonna try and go with a teardrop by the end of it. Build, 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 and at the end, we're gonna push it forward and then pull it back, and it should create that nice teardrop look, which overall should work pretty good. Um, yeah. One way to kill a rainy day. You could stack the hairs too if you really wanted to, but I find when I'm looking for a teardrop style, I don't necessarily want them to all be right at the end. I want it to kinda teardrop and then, like, kinda go into, like, how do I say it? Like a point almost. So I don't care about having them all nice and you can see, like, if I was to stack it, all these tips would be right, like, here, or they'd all be the same, but don't really care. A pike's gonna eat this, well, hopefully, and, after a few bites or whatever, after probably, like, 5 or so pike or who knows how many, it's gonna end up being, no hairs anyway. So, anyway, we're gonna kinda split this a little bit. I'm gonna go in around that. Probably could have gotten a little bit more, but that's okay. And we're gonna tie that in like so. Make sure we got that in good. Now we don't want these hairs to come undone. Or not hairs, sorry. We don't want to uh, get snipped off when the pike eats it with its mouth. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of head cement. Oh, light! Kids, sorry if that was loud. I should mute that. And we're just gonna add a little bit of head cement here, just because I don't want that to go anywhere. Nothing like a live at home when you have kids. I need a clapper. Yes, I do. That would be alright, so I'm gonna blow on this head cement just a little bit. We can tie in too, which will be fine, and it'll just wrap in and it'll dry on its own and it'll hold that real well. It'll just make sure that it if it's gonna come loose, if anything is gonna come out, it's not gonna be because my thread got snapped. So, gonna add a little bit more dubbing here. I'm gonna do a little doubling noodle. Nothing crazy, just enough to, add a little bit of bulk at the head here and keep it with that, keep adding to that teardrop, hopefully. Here we go. We got that. So could sometimes you'll notice my flies don't necessarily look the prettiest all the time. And that's because I tie them to fish. I'm not worried about some, you know, I'm not putting them in some art show or anything like that. All right. Once again, oh, we're gonna add a little bit of flashy blue to the top. Nothing crazy. We don't need too much at a time. All I'm gonna do with this is pull out the excess, pull down here. I got it right like that. So I crossed it over and I'm gonna come down, I'm gonna push this down right there and come across. Now, I like it on the side over the top, but this pattern calls for the top, so we're gonna go for the top for this one, and we're gonna leave it like that. There you go, it's not quite back past the back, and now we're gonna tie in some more bucktail. Once again, I'm gonna go right in between on this stuff. I'm gonna use a bit of white, a little bit of that, a little bit of the brown, and that should be like ideally, it should give it that hopefully like a little bit more of a natural bait fish color. Less is more in this situation a lot. Although sometimes you do, in order to build bulk, you want a little bit more. But we'll see. This is the first test fly, and then we'll see if it does create what we're looking for. Once again, I'm going to tie it in here once, twice, three times, just so I can kind of get that. There we go. That's not too bad. Tie that in. Flip it over. Let's get some white. We're also tying from the back. Like, unfortunately, this little bit, it's just a bunch of chunks. So to say it's coming from the what part of a full piece of deer tail that it would be. Usually you pull from the back because you want it to sink more. And then if you want at the head, you could put from the bottom of the bucktail because the bottom, I should say the beginning of the bucktail, not the back, and then that'll help it, uh, should help it, float a little bit better. I'll often do that and put like a, almost a cone head, because then the cone head slow helps it sink, but the deer hair slows it, which is actually pretty sweet because then it just goes like this because it'll boot dart and then it dives as if it was like a dying bait fish kind of thing. But let's do this. We don't want too much. Pull it here. I'm going to try and pull out any small fibers. Once again, we're going to put this, pull it so it's between the hook. I have a trailer I should be working on, but I also have some these flies I need to kind of get tied. And if I don't, I won't have time because this weekend is going to be super busy. There we go. Try that. Pull out all these extra fibers that aren't caught. Watch my fingers. There we go. Okay. We're going to go once again. Oh, put this up. Tie a little bit more flashy boo in here. So again, I'm doing like 3, maybe 4 fibers. Toss that to the side. Pull this down. I meant to do this before I put in the flashy boo last time and forgot, but either way, it's still gonna produce the same results, really. So again, go like that. Ooh, what are you doing? Not what I wanted. Here we go. Pull it back. Stop it. Okay. Place it. Hold it. Back. There we are. That's what I wanted. And over the course of it, it should create a really nice flash for the whole thing. And then the end result should be pretty sweet. Here we are. A little bit more flashy boo in there. Not flashy boo, a little bit of dubbing. If you want to know what I'm using some silver holographic, some belly dubbing would actually work really nicely as well. I have a bunch of it. I stocked up early this year because um, I wanted to really uh, work on some different pike patterns. And I was also tying a bunch of sparkle metals. There we go. Some more. We got up a little bit more now. Repeat our process here. Let's go with mm, Brennan. You should be tying. Get out your vice. Give you a good reason to get out. Here we are. You know what you might do is I might stack. You really should be. It's a good reason. Rainy day. You're probably sitting at home doing nothing, watching TV, I bet, because that's what I was doing before I did this. I'm just getting the back end of this all nice and straight. Whoops. That'll work. There we go. That's better. Hi, Apollo. Hi, Smith. Gonna watch the soccer game in a few minutes. Ah, yeah. There we go. Yeah, that should work. Tie that in just like so. I'm wondering if I'm actually gonna get this in the first shot. It's probably gonna take one or two. There we go. A little bit on the back end. Clean up the eye of this hook. And I guess depending on how long you could make it, I probably could put a tail like a zonker tail or something on the end to extend the length of this, which actually would work really well. Maybe I'll do that for the next one. Which I find sometimes is what I'll do. Like as I'm tying, I just slowly like, oh, I should put this on there, and oh, I should put that on there, and I find it works. You end up by the third one, you end up with what you actually want, and then you tie four more. And um, we're not going to go too big on the belly because I don't really need to. I don't want the belly to be too crazy. I just want it to look white. Pull that back. Here we go. Right up here. Nope. Far enough. Here we are. One. Nice loose. Tie that in. Yep. Here we go. Once again, I'm going to put a little bit of, I didn't put it on the last one, but I should have. Just going to add a little head cement on this. I want it to last. And make sure with this stuff, if I'm in a, like, I'll get complacent and like just put it down. And sometimes by the time you actually get back to tying the fly, if you don't put the cap on, I've actually had to like re-put that hole back in. There we are. There we go. And then we're gonna add a little bit more flash. And then we're gonna tie in our grizzly hackle. And then we're gonna tie in the head. So I'm not going too crazy. Oh, probably should have put a little bit more. My cat ate some of it. So unfortunately, it there's some strands that are like half eaten here, and every now and then you get a couple of them. There we go. Okay. Oh, where are you? A feline fly. Yeah. There we go. Put this here, half it up because I don't need it to go too far. Bam. Pull it back. Tie it back up to there. Okay. Now we're gonna tie in the side of this, and then we're gonna do the head. So I got some grizzly hackle here. I'm gonna have to blow my nose. And I don't know, like I have yesterday I went and bought some like I'm talking like 12-inch stuff. That's gonna be another pattern I'm gonna hopefully tie today, maybe a couple of them. I'm not tying too many. I wanna see what works before I actually tie a bunch, but I'm gonna bring the materials with me. And we're gonna tie in some sides here just to give it a nice little lateral side to it. And I think that looks pretty good there. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna pluck one out. I'm gonna pluck another one. Yeah, that looks about right. Either way, it doesn't matter. Pluck that out. And so there's one of two ways you can do these. I don't You can go like that where it kind of goes with it and hugs it better, or you can go like this and you see how I don't know if you guys can see that. See how it it bends like that? So if I do that, it'll go against here, and then what'll happen is when I'm pulling it, it flaps a little bit more, gives that little bit of vibration, which is kinda nice, and sometimes it can be the difference in getting a fish to, like, trigger a fish to bite. It's all just these little things that, you know, maybe not 1 or 2 or all of them is what makes the whole fly, but the combination is what helps. The flash, the motion, the profile, the dart, like all of it can be one or the other thing that triggers that fish to bite. So we're gonna try and match these up the same. I'm gonna do the small one first, like that. And I don't want it to go right to the end. So I'm just gonna start right here, put this one. If you wanted, you could just tie this on the side, like so. Tie that in like that. Maybe adjust it. There we go. That should work. Yeah. Oh, no, not right. Not where I want it. A little bit more. I'm gonna try and spin this. Whoops. Right here. Right on the side, trying to go with the hook. Why are you not? There we go. Boom. Okay, there's that one. Tying the next one. And like, don't worry if you don't get this to a science, it doesn't really matter. I don't know if the fish really see the difference if one side's a little bit longer than the other. I don't think they really care. I'm just gonna pull some of these plumes off. Snip this a little bit because I don't want all of that. And then same thing here. I'm making sure it's facing up so it's facing away from the fly. I'm gonna put that on like so. Tag it down. Cut off the access. Here we go. Okay. There we go. Now, oh, yeah. See, it always happens, but that's okay. Oh, can I move it? Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. We moved it. There you go. That's a little bit better. Should work out in the end. All right, so tie that on. Once again, just gonna add a little bit of head cement to that. And then we're gonna tie in the head and then put the eyes on. So with this, we're gonna make sure that the that I'm all the way up to the head or the eyelet of the hook, and we're gonna do the top, and I'm gonna tie in the top this way, or in reverse. I'm gonna tie the bottom in reverse. But I'm gonna make the head of this one, I'm gonna use mostly dark because I don't need it super long now. Now we're just creating that teardrop. We don't need it to go to here. We're just working our way up, and we're gonna go to this, to the eyelet of the hook, like so. Belly could be a little bit longer if you want. So I'm going to I'm gonna use the hair stacker, but I'm not going to do the tips because once again, I don't need to. I don't want to anyway. Some people might disagree. That's fine. How better. There we go. We got that. And then we're going to tie this right like that. So that should work. I'm going with a little less right now as opposed to more because I don't want to overdo it. And then if I know I don't put enough, I find a little less often works better than too much. So then the next one I can add some more for it. And we'll just tie a few of these. I don't know, maybe tie 2 or 3 just because by the 3rd one, I'll probably get it right exactly how I want anyway. Next thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna go back first. Again, we will go with less is more. Paulo, stop it. Cut that off. That one is pretty good. Flip that up. I don't mind having it bulk a little bit up here. That's gonna help add to that teardrop and keep it up. So now we're gonna try and get this to go around a little bit. Boom. Okay. Now we're gonna take that, we're gonna push it forward and hopefully create that nice hourglass. Teardrop, hourglass, whatever you want to call it. Pick your fancy. My cat. All right. This stuff works really well. I'm going to take it and hopefully push this like that. Like so. Trying not to crowd the eye too much with it. I'm going to move that back a little bit. Like so. Yeah, there we go. That works better. There we go. Now I'm not crowding the eyelet too much, and I'm just going to tie this, dam it up, and then keep working it back, and hopefully should create, there we are, what I'm looking for. You just keep going back, and now it should kind of. I don't think that's the head I want on 100%. Probably could have done some more on that one. Mm. But when that gets wet, it should look pretty sweet. And having that head flare out a little bit more looks it'll it'll go slim, and then when you strip it, and then when you let it go, it should go, and then it should dart it a little bit. So, could have done a little bit more, so I had a little bit, like, more head of it to dart when it darts, but it's okay. First one. We're not gonna overthink it because you can easily overthink it. Try and get it perfect. It'll probably still fish just fine. All right, we're going to take this and whip finish. 1, 2, 3, 4, couple times. Go. And once again, I'm going to tie on. Oh wow, it's a little bit. Put on a little bit of head cement on there. I definitely could have got bigger on the head. There we go. Just kind of get that to dry, and there you go. That fly, like honestly, it should not fall apart. Pretty confident on that. I've been working a lot with like doing it on the thread wraps, and usually they last quite a bit. It only takes a couple flies before you figure out streamers, before you figure out that putting the head on. So we're gonna put on a little bit of, yeah, definitely a little bit more. You see that side? I don't know, maybe you can. That side right here is a little less, but that side has a little bit more bulk to it. That's that's the name of the game. You just play it a little bit more. I could have like twisted it a little bit more, made sure that it was a little more volume for the head to cover all this. Um, but that's okay. So next, I'm going to add some eyes. Try and get some proportion to the size of the fly. And I think we got a little bit of. Do I have some thin resin? Yeah, thin. Here we go. That's what I want. Some thin. There's some flexible right here. That might work out. My So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna do this. So see how I had this to like push it back to get it to go? So go like that. Or I have these. I cut a little slit in them. I know it might not be easy to see. And I'm just gonna do this to help me. I have a couple of them to get the eyes right. That's what I'm gonna do. And then there we are. Like that. And then when I'm ready, now it's holding it all in place, like so. And then I can put the eyes in and then I can pull them off. So we'll do hard. I don't want flexible. I want hard because I want it to be able to sink a little bit. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, put that there. Do this on the side. I'm going to put a little dab there. And then I don't know where my huh. Take that. I'm gonna dab that on the side, like so. And we'll build this out a little bit more in a second. We're gonna put the other eye on. Cure that up a little bit. Like so. Yeah, that should work. Do the other side. So again, I'm just gonna dab a little bit on there. Take the eye. Oh, put that there. Oh, I need that to dab a little bit more. And the Amazon man must be here. And I don't want that to stick to my finger. So I'm just going to take it, dab it, make sure it actually goes on. There we go. We got it. Like so. Eh, the eyes are a little off, but that's okay. Oh, why didn't you stay? Well, that's perfect because now I can make you come back. I ordered some more batteries for my drone for this trip because I only have one. And the last time I went out, I was really reserved on how much I could use the drone because I'd run out of battery life too fast. Try and get these on. Sometimes you got to put a good dab on it just to get them to stick and stay in place. They're gonna get pulled off as soon as I hit a fly. Guaranteed. Oh, got another person on here. Here we go. Set that. Ooh, those are placed perfectly now. All right. All right. So now we're gonna build the head on this a little bit so that it kind of stay how it has that like nice little teardrop. I wish I could like zoom in on it. I might have to get a program for this where I can actually like do two cameras, main one, big one. But yeah, so now we're gonna build a little bit on the head so that hopefully it will take more than one or two pike to destroy the head of this fly. Yeah, just adding little bits at a time, not too crazy. There we are. Oh, that's nice. That's not too bad. Not bad for my first shot. There we go. I'm thinking it was head cement. So the difference between UV resin and head cement is the head cement, you gotta blow on it to get it to go to and then the UV, you just, obviously, you just use the flashlight. There we go. Ooh, that's sweet. Alright. Alright, let's pull it off, see what she looks like. Ooh, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, no. And, yeah, that happens sometimes. A little too close to it. Oh, well. That wasn't meant to happen. There we go. Got that off. Yeah, there we go. That's not too bad. We'll add a little bit more just to keep that head in place. Oh, wow. That was a lot more. But let's pull that back to make sure it stays the way I want it to. There we go. This isn't too bad, actually. Not for the first attempt. It's a little raggedy looking, but it's a nice little profile, and that's what I really like. I find, like the thing is, like, okay, yeah, you throw big flies, often you'll rule out the smaller fish, but I mean, with pike, I mean, if anyone's caught pike here, you'd know that it doesn't necessarily matter. You can have big, small, the big and the small pike will try and eat big flies, and usually the rule of thumb is they'll try and eat about a third of their size. At least one third, I believe, is the average. Um, so like, yeah, they'll try and hit it, but big fish will still eat smaller flies. And sometimes on a bad day, that's not what you might need. You might try off big, but you're not getting anything. And then I will just keep slowly downsizing until I find that one where I'm either getting some better numbers, but still getting some size. And I have this one streamer pattern. Do I have it with me? No, it's in my boat bag. In my boat bag, it's long, but it's thin. It's not a huge profile. So you don't always need big and bulky. But sometimes those really big fish, they might not hit something small. They might want to hit something that's like worth their effort. They're big fish, they're smart fish most of the time. But anyway, that is one. That actually turned out not too bad. I'm actually pretty happy with that. And when that thins out, it should nice little flash on there. Yeah. It should like teardrop. That's the idea of it. Idea anyway. The other way you could do it is you could like pull forward and pull it back, which maybe we'll try that on the next flight. I'll do all of them forward and then we'll pull them back and keep damming them up. Do a couple so we get a length and a body on it, but then on the next one we'll go ahead and we'll add the uh, the head to it where it's like you tie it backwards and then we'll push it back and it will create a dam that will add like little more of a roundness to it, a little more of a teardrop. So yeah, that's not too bad actually. It's nice and slim. See, it should like that. 4 or 5 inch streamer. Should take a couple hits anyway. Yeah. Anyway, I might come back on, but I'm going to maybe I'll tie another one, but I think my stuff just came in. So I'm gonna go check on it. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, let's that's a pretty sweet little fly. All right. Just a little faster. Apollo, leave it, please. Now, when you're starting off your fly, you want to make sure that you do a nice thread base on. It will help dramatically keep the materials to the hook. If you do all you ever do is just do a little bit of this on the on the head of the fly, and you don't keep it far back enough on it, and like a decent amount. You don't have to go crazy, but a decent amount. Then you'll find often that your materials when you tie them on, they'll just spin around the hook, and it's no good. Like it's no like you'll grab the fly, and it might even take a bite or two, and it will like come apart. So having a good thread base on your hook will make a huge difference on, how good the materials stick and don't want to spin on the hook or pull off for that matter. So if you don't have a rotary vise, you just do it the old fashioned way and just go all the way to the back. Here, I'll do it this way. A little bit more. I'll show you the difference when you're having an actual rotary vise, what actually it helps. You don't need super expensive ones, they just need the rotary function. I bought this because it was on sale and I really wanted one. But we're gonna go just to the bend of the hook right there. Now, if you were to do that without having it, to have a rotary, here's how much easier it is. And this is where they are nice, but just like having this function is a lot nicer than just doing it by hand. But if you're starting out and you can, the main thing, does the vice hook hold it? That's the main thing. It does not need to be expensive. My first vice was $50 and it held the hook right, which is why I liked it. Because if you don't, it doesn't add to the experience of trying to tie any type of fly, to be honest with you. Okay, let's go where some holographic. Mm, should we put on some music? Maybe we should put on some music. Let's do that. See if it comes through. Oh, will it come through? No, because it's not on that. No, it didn't come in through here. Okay, never mind. We're not going to. Scrap that idea. Would be nice to have some music. All right, here we are. So we're just going to spin that on. Make sure you spin it in one direction. Makes me think of Thursday Night Live. If you don't watch it, you should. Great winter thing that Fly Fishing Bow River Outfitters puts on every year. There we go. Okay, a little bit of a flash. Let's go with this time. We're going to try a little bit more. I'm going to add a little bit more to the fly because I want to see if I can create a little bit better of a teardrop because I don't feel like I fully created what I wanted. Um, but we're going to try it a little bit better. Not bad though. It's pretty close, but a little bit more is what we're going to go for. So once again, head of the fly, we're going to pull out a little bit more, like I said. See how fast we can tie this. What time is it? We're 58 minutes on this one fly. Okay. Tie it on there. Nothing crazy. That's not even that long, is it? That's okay. Tie it in. Get it down to the side. There we go. Not too bad. Go for the tail. There we are. Again, we're going to go for a little bit more bulk on this guy. Tie that in. Let it come down past the sides. There we go. There we go. That should work. Oh no, I did not do that very well, did I? No, we're going to pull that one back because we still have time. Pulling it back. Why don't I feel like I'm getting bit? There we go. Try that again. Attempt number 2. Just so you know, you don't have to be perfect at this, guys, to do it. Just takes time and patience, really. It's the biggest thing. I stacked that because I kinda ruined it. Here we are. Money. Okay, here we are. Get that all the way up to there. Yeah, it's better. Spin this so that it wants to wrap in the direction I want it to. There we are. Boom. Much better. Pull this off. I don't know what time is this. Okay. Ow. Mhm. Yeah, that works. One other thing you could do if you're doing a teardrop where you have, like, this part of the fly more brown and then the back part you could have more white, you could put a little white on the top so the tail comes off and it's all white, which is an option. Um, let's do this. A little bit of flash. 4. I'm do on the top. Going back. Oops. Here we are. That works. And then we're gonna add a little bit of flashy boot to that, but I wanna once again, I'm gonna add a little bit of head cement. I don't want it to there we go. Whoops. Don't need it super dry, and then do another dubbing loop. Okay, here we go. Adding, there we go. Get this to work. There you go. I got on it. You could use dubbing wax. I don't know. I don't always use it. There, wrapping that up. Bam, there we go. Put that on there. People coming and going. That's fine. Okay, let's do this. Try to see if I can do this in a timely fashion for the second one anyway. Ain't gonna be no quick ties, that's for sure. Here we go. On the head. Add it like so. That goes there. Add some white. We're gonna go a little. Once again, we're still going a little bit more for this fly. I just want to see the difference, and this is really like this is where you really start to understand like the difference between how much you should have, and shouldn't. You can listen to what people are saying all the time, and that's fine. But you'll learn a lot more by like experimenting with how much to add and how much not. And often you'll see what they're doing, and then you might add too much because you didn't think you had enough, which is very common, to be honest with you. I mean, a lot of us starting out most certainly did it that way. And then adding that, take it, let's just get it so that it try and cover up. There we are. Yeah, a little too much on it. There we are. And there we are. That works. Just trying to cover up those gaps so it doesn't look so. Yeah, there we go. Then we're gonna go a little bit more flashy boo. I'm gonna tie this one, and then I'm gonna go grab some lunch, and then I think I'm gonna tie a couple bigger ones. Maybe even do some different colors. Take this, place it where you want it. Right there, that's where I want it to start. I'm gonna pull it back. And I'm gonna slowly start wrapping in reverse. There we go. Now I'm gonna add a little bit more flash or a little bit of dubbing on here. I'm hungry. Wow, am I hungry? Okay, so adding a little bit more flash to it. Hey guys, who's on there? I want to. You feel like saying hi? If you do, that'd be cool. If not, thanks for stopping by for 5 seconds. There we go. Adding a little bit forward once again. We're gonna do the head again. Adding to the head like so. There we are. Bam. Okay. And then on this one again, I'll do another little bit of head cement on there. Gonna go with some more white. Once again, adding in a little bit. Okay. Should work. Okay. Going to place this kind of where I want it. Coming from behind. I don't need to go past. Don't want to crowd the eye too much. Tie that in a little bit. It's down past. There we go. That works. And then I'm just going to try and take that and divide it through. Where did I put? I don't know where that went. Kind of hook it so that it goes. Now it's on either side of the hook. I think the profile in this one might be a little bit better when I'm done with it. All right. We don't need too many thread wraps. We will put once again. Yeah, we're gonna stop there. That's looking pretty good actually. And we're going to do a little bit of head cement on this. And if you want to, you can save your work. There's my little save button. Do a little half hitch. And I know my work is saved. It's there. We don't want to build it up too much. We just want it to go on there. Now, for this one, I'm going to go a little bit heavier on the head this time because I did not go heavy enough last time on the head. And it's okay, I find too, like longer on the back and shorter on the front end actually helps, uh, also help create that teardrop more because then you build more bulk around the middle as opposed to keep trying like, you don't wanna keep trying to go to the back, you wanna go long on the back, and, like, if you can keep it a little shorter, it should I mean, if it's all the same, it should continue to creep up. But if you can have like this stuff's longer, but then on top, this stuff's a little shorter, but use stuff like that on the head, it'll help create that teardrop more in the front or in the middle. It's kind of what we're looking for. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go a little bit bulky on this one. I'm gonna try more on this guy. See if I can get that shot that I'm looking for. If it'll work. Put that down. There we go. That's a little bit better. I like that. I'll do some on the bottom too. That's nice. Yeah, that's gonna look real nice. So I'm going to tie it on the head here. So I'm gonna come pull out that a little bit. Pinch it here, put it right here. I'm not going past the eyelid of the hook. I know it's pretty hard to see, but the eyelid of the hook is right here. I'm gonna bring it back a wee bit. Place this on here. I'm gonna wrap twice, and then we're gonna leave it on the top because I'm gonna put some more on the bottom because I really want to try and see if I can get that head decent with the belly. Oh no! Whoa! Backstep here. Backstep. Put that aside. Sorry, my bad. Um, I forgot to put the sides in. Back, Apollo. Back. Back. All right. So once again, grizzly hackle. I don't need too long of a grizzly hackle. I'm gonna pull out one. I'm gonna pull out another longer one. Two. And once again, see the curve on it? I wanna push that away so that it, like, kinda pushes water when it goes in. When when you're pulling it and it stops, and then hopefully it should shoot or dart with the head. Apollo, stop. Dog's a knucklehead. Okay, we got that, and then we're gonna do the other side now. I get 2? That's just a weird feather. It's fine. You can pluck the tips off of this because they're gonna get covered anyway, and you don't want too much. There we are. And then we're going to cut off this. Any extra stuff. Ah, sorry guys. But there you go. There's a nice little belly to it. Should be sweet. Now let's tie that that bucktail in the head. So we're gonna go in reverse with the bucktail. Thinking maybe I should just do all of it once. You know what? That's what we're gonna do. That stuff's longer. I don't want long. I don't want too long. Oh, that's long. Here we go. We're gonna add a little bit of this too. It's about the right size. We're gonna add a little bit more white on the bottom of it. Add because I want a nice head on this guy. Once again, playing with the different sizes, obviously, and the different amounts, I should say, is going to be the difference between you finding that right amount that truly gets you to the desired look that maybe you're going for or what the pattern calls for. But as you fish more and you figure this out, you will decide and you will determine what you think is enough and what you don't think is enough. Or the fish will decide. All right, so here we are. This is a nice bulk. This is going to be a good hit on this one. All right, so we're going to go rinse again. I am at just back about an eighth inch or 16th back from the eye of the hook. Going to take my pinch it, place it, could actually go like this and push it in the middle, but we'll do this, and then we're going to I'll show you what we're gonna do. We're gonna wrap it around. So once, twice, pull out any of those extra fibers that don't belong in there right now. And now we're gonna take it and we're gonna pull it, make sure that it's fully around the whole eyelet, which I think it is. That looks actually really sweet. And now I'm gonna you could take it and spin it too if you wanted. But I'm making sure that it's where I want, and I'm gonna wrap some nice tighter straps. Don't go too tight or you will break your thread, which I haven't broken off yet, which is pretty sweet. And then you go look there. See how that's starting to flare a little bit? It might be a little bit hard with the camera just because this is just on the laptop. It's not on my main camera. But there you go. Wraps a little bit. So we got that. Pretty sweet. Nice little taper. Now we're gonna take that and we're gonna push it back, and then we're gonna do the head. So taking my handy dandy little tube, we're gonna take this and we're going to push it all back. You might find a gap, which I did find a little bit. So we're gonna add just a little bit more. Like there's pretty good, all through there is pretty good. It's all pretty thick, but then right there, there's a bit of a you can almost see it right here. There's a bit of a gap in there. So I'm gonna add just a wee little bit to there. And that should be good. Hello. How are you doing? There we go. Just gonna add that little bit to that because I want once, twice. There we go. Now that's a full head all the way around there. That's pretty sweet. There we go. All right. We're not going to do too much with that because I don't want to go in too much further. Now I'm going to take it, I'm going to push it all back. And this, take this, a little nice little tube. We take it, and we're going to push like that. See how that holds there like that? Pull it all back. It's nice and sweet. Yeah, I like it. Maybe we can get it to hold by doing this. Throw that on like so. Try not to get the pull it back. Oh, would you look at that? Yeah, that worked pretty sweet actually. Do that there. That's holding pretty nicely. And then we're going to take this one and I'm going to slide it on like so, right here. And I'm going to pull that off. There we go. And that holds it in place without me using my hands for the most part. Although I got to pull this back here. No, it's not gonna work. Not for that guy. Redo. Let's pull it back. There we go. Just to get it started with the wraps, we'll probably pull and then get the extra threads out, pieces. There we are. And we're gonna dam this up in front of it. I'll show you why we're gonna keep damming it up because we don't want it to come undone. And then it should want to flare out, hopefully. Now, if you want to tighten up the flare, if you want to make it more slim or more like out, you would keep it closer to the head of the fly here and see how it does that. So that's not a very tight one. We want to go back a little bit more, something more like that, which isn't too hard to achieve. We just keep pulling the thread base back. But we need also to pull that back. I will throw this back on there. The other way you can do it too is if you go something like this, nice little hook like that, take it, go through it. That works too. But I like if I wanted a cleaner, which I've been trying to go a little bit more cleaner on it, I'll put this in here and I find these work. They're just cut off little pieces of my tube. I'm just gonna put it over top of the tube so that it goes past the uh, the thread and just holds it just like that. So now we're gonna take this and we're gonna dam it, keep damming it back. And it should keep overlapping on it. And it should take that head of the fly and it should slowly take it as we're wrapping backwards on it. It should take it and start to close it up to create, when it gets wet, that teardrop when it gets wet. Look at the camera. Which works really nice. It takes a bit of getting used to. A lot of the first flies I ever tried doing this with did not work out very well, and, I didn't really like them. But it's one of those things that just takes time, and when you start to figure out how to create that head, it looks pretty sweet. There we are. I'll take it off and I'll show you the difference. Because now I'm about an 1/8 inch back. If you've seen it before, I'll show you the difference now. See how now? That's not bad. That's pretty good because by the time that gets wet, it should it should go, and so when you pull it through the water, it should go like this and then flare out, and then go like this and flare out, and when it flares, it kicks. And that is usually what gets the fish to, like, snap, especially pike, um, bull trout, big time. They usually will hit on the pause, and it's such a fun eat because it's so visual. Everyone thinks dry fly fishing is so visual, but, I mean, if you're pulling a big pike fly through deep water, okay, it's not visual, it's all just feel. But a lot of the times when you're fishing flats, it's such a visual eat, and it's so much fun that, it's incredible. Such a fun way to catch fish. Streamer fishing is probably one of my favorite. Dry fly eats are fun. I enjoy it all, to be honest with you. Anything that really catches the fish is what I enjoy doing. But if you were to say if I had to pick one or the other, I would probably pick streamer fishing. And most conventional fishermen, which I have a conventional background, uh, I would say probably prefer that, but not always. So anyway, we're just gonna throw a half hitch on this, and then we're gonna put the eyes in. Oops. Actually, let's just do this and we'll save. We're just gonna save our work before I do too much with this. Pull this back up. Be nice if I had one of those fun bobbins. We're gonna keep going back actually a little bit more, just so you can see the difference, and I'm still pulling it back, 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 just little increments at a time. There you go, that's what I want. And if you find that the eye is a little bit too crowded, I have a pen. A head of a pen. I had a head of a pen. Oh, there it is. Took a head of a pen, and often it'll go over the top of this. This one's not very good, but you can take it, and if you wanna pull that stuff back, you can go like this, and you can pull it past, and that works too for a half hitch. But now, let's whip finish this sucker, and then put the eyes on. Hey, there's 2 people. Give it a thumbs up. No, how you guys doing? Um, if you wanna say hi, by all means, please say hi. Who is in the chat watching? Do whip finish this. There we go. Oh, I scared more. There was 2. There's now 1. It's like a deer in the headlights. They're like, "Oh, we're watching." You're like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" Like, "Oh my god." Alright, so now we're gonna pull this head back a little bit more, but we're gonna do it with, resin and, on the front of it to, like, pull it in, and we're gonna put some eyeballs on there. So, it's always nice to have your flashlight handy. So you put it on, you can hold it, and then you just grab the flashlight, good to go. So, let's try this for a second time, and oh, look at that. Hey, man, how you doing? Paramount Paranormal Outdoorsman. Paranormal, eh? You're, like, going for ghosts? That's funny. That's cool, though. How are you doing, dude? Alright, so I'm just gonna put this, like, get it nice and tight, and we're gonna put these back on so we can keep it, and I find when I put these on, it, helps a lot with the, eyes. So we're gonna put one on like this, holding this part where we want it. There we go. We're gonna come back a little bit more. I'm gonna put these on there. I'm good, dude. Um, just tying some small pike streamers, bait fish patterns to for a big trip coming up next in the next week or so. Got a heading up to northern Saskatchewan to go for some big pike. So we got that pulled back, and this pattern actually works really good for saltwater too. So now you can see like it's nice. This is a good way to tie on to like do the head, put on the eyes. Uh, it's one of my favorite because I find when you hold it, when you're trying to hold it with your hands, it often it's I don't know, you get used to it. Wow, this is not working. Um, but this is pretty dummy proof, to be honest with you. So we're going to got the eyes right here. I'm gonna put it on its side. I'm going to put enough of a dab on here that will hold the eye in place. And then we can cure it. Put that down. Put the eye on. I usually have, there we are. Go get that in there like so. And try and get them both at the same spot. Doesn't always work, but if you can. So I'm just gonna get this to hold just for a second. Oh, look at that. We're at 5 people. That's the most we've had so far. So we're gonna get this on right here. Here we are. That's okay. That'll work. And then I- I'm gonna go put this on the same side. Hold on. Oh,
Bye, Daddy.
all right. Later, bud. Love you.
See you when we get back.
Yeah. See you when you get back.
I'll message Mommy every day.
Okay.
Careful as and she'll tell you.
All right. For sure. There we go. I'm trying to get this the same. There we go. So I got it on the side here. And then just get that to stay on there. And now we're going to build the head and we're gonna make sure those eyeballs stay in there. All right, dude. Later. Love you. Have fun. All right. So now I'm just going to build around the eyeballs a little bit. Wesley, light. Gonna build around the eye a little bit because I don't want it to get eaten in one shot. Just that for there, just to hold that in. And then I'm going to like do the whole head. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the other eye. Gonna add this around here. And there we go. That's pretty good there. Gonna get that eyeball in there. I don't know. This might be hard to see. What? There's an ant. Stupid ant. Huh. And now those eyes are in there real solid. Like that's going absolutely nowhere. But I want to build the head a little bit. So because I don't want the pike to hit it and thing just explode right at the threads. So we're gonna build up a little bit of a dam of I'm using thin UV resin, and I'm just gonna thin that out around the head so that we're not. Here we are. And now I'm not like putting out any more right now. I'm just kind of spreading it along the threads so that hopefully it doesn't get pulled out. And there we go. And here it is. That should be the head of the fly. Okay, here.
Gonna say goodbye. Bye. Love you.
Later. Bye. All right. I just wanted to make sure that's good. I think it's decent. I might be overdoing this a little bit more than I need to. Can you tell I'm at home? Everyone's home? All right. There we go. So there's that. We'll pull those out. There we go. Might be a little bit too much, but actually, that's actually not too bad. And that is the fly. Nice little bait fish pattern. It's got a little bit of flashy boo in the top, got some lateral lines for the sides. And when the water hits this, hopefully, the idea of it. Oh, look at that there. And the other eye is not quite the same, but that's fine. The pike aren't going to really care. But yeah, it should, when the water hits it, it should teardrop, which should be pretty sweet. But anyway, that is how you tie that fly. And that is a little bit better than I think. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I think the volume on this one's a little bit better. I think the length on this guy is a little bit better. But usually you're like, okay, so then I got the volume right. I didn't get the length as right on this one as I did on this one. So next, by the time I hit the third one, I could always put a little bit longer. If you want to get a little bit longer out of it, I would probably put a zonker tail on it, which I probably could do. But I'm hungry and I'm going to get some lunch. and then I might come back on and tie a few more flies. But, that I actually really do like that one. I think that will fish well. This will fish well too, once it gets wet. But anyway, if you wanna see how they look too, get I don't know, tub of water, container, or something, dip them in, and then dangle them and see how they look when they hit the water. That's another way to get them to see what the profile is gonna look in underwater, because obviously that's not what it's gonna look like in the water. It's gonna change dramatically, but when this bucktail really gets wet, it flows and moves so nicely. So, it's more like a fathead minnow kinda thing. But there you go. There you have it. Um, it's just basically a bait fish imitator. I don't know the actual name of this fly. It's just something I've done and played with. There's so many different styles and names that people come up with for all this stuff. But anyway, if you guys like this and enjoyed it, um, I'll be back in a little while. If give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you are watching, and I'll catch you guys in a little while. Ciao.